just for you. It's the D Shabach Show. Why you stuck on 25? We reporting live from the mofo just to let you know that it's the D Shabach Show. It's the D Shabach Show. Just for you, it's the D Shabach Show. Why you stuck on 25? We reporting live from the mofo just to let you know that it's the D Shabach Show. It's the D Shabach Show.
What's good, people? It's your man DJ Shabach, D Shabach. What else I go by? DJ, DSG. I don't know. Welcome to the D Shabach Show from the Fofo. I'm feeling good. The weekend was pretty good. Honestly. Friday, Went out with a friend. Went to Holiday Bar. Saturday, where did I go? Went to the fair. Went to the Atlanta Fair. So there's the Georgia State Fair, and then there's the Atlanta Fair. So the Atlanta Fair is like the smaller fair. Georgia State Fair is the bigger fair. Atlanta Fair comes twice a year during the March, April time, and then it also comes during October. And so I had a good time. End up leaving before the YNs pulled up. Oh man, it's funny getting older because as a teenager, you just feel good. You're going to spots, you've seen other teenagers, and you're like, man, yeah, it's party. But then as you get older, and you're like, oh, I'm no longer a teenager. I am unk. I'm an old person. You know, you realize some of these things, like a fair, is targeted towards the younger ones, you know? So you got all these bad kids just running all around. But it was good for the most part. Because 2 or 3 years ago when I went, there was a shootout. Some of the YNs, they started shooting, and then because of that, there was an accident that was on the interstate because I think somebody was looking to see what was going on. It was a lot. But had a pretty good weekend. Sunday, went to work. So I'm a digital media specialist. So I do engineering at different locations. So whether it's hotels, churches, businesses, organizations, whatever it may be. And so I did that Sunday morning. Then I had to run errands with the mother. You know, it's like, it's funny because they'll always tell you, oh, we just got this one little errand to run. And then you got 150 errands you're doing. I'm like, dude, and I'm driving. You know, and it's like, well, at least I'm going to get some food after this. At least that's, you know, you know you're going to get some free food when you're hanging with moms. So, end up running errands. That went on to probably about 4. Finally got back home. I was able to really relax because I was still lit from Saturday of going out and everything. And so hangover and barely getting sleep and got to get up early, go to church. I know, right? But it wasn't that crazy. I didn't do nothing crazy on Saturday. Not that Saturday. But I'm feeling good. On Wednesday, we're going to go skating. We're going skating at Cascade. So every Wednesday, we are either going bowling or skating. So we alternate. So some Wednesdays, first and third Wednesdays is skating, I believe, and second and fourth Wednesdays is bowling. Yes. So this is the third Wednesday coming up, and we are going to go skating at Cascade. It's $15 for just to get in, general admission. It's $20 altogether for shoe rental and the general admission. What else? Yeah, I'm going to start doing some weekend events. I just kind of wanted to start this, kind of first, just to be able to build some type of traction, some audience, to see, is there a desire for it? Are there people? And a lot of y'all have liked it. A lot of y'all have saved it and shared it, so I appreciate that. I'm not looking to become popular, even though that's part of what I'm trying to do, but that's just a result of what I'm trying to do. I'm not looking to do these events or do these things to become popular. I just want to create real community for people. There's a lot of people in the Fofo in Atlanta who don't know each other, who have not met, who are introverts. Maybe you are even an extrovert, but you only go to certain spots. So I'm just trying to build community for those who are looking for authentic friendships. Because you go to a lot of these events, even the ones that are community centered, but they don't really do a good job of getting people to interact, talk to each other, meeting and greeting. And, you could have went to an event that 20 girls was into you, 20 guys was into you, but you would have never known just because it was so awkward. So that's where someone like myself comes into play, that I have to put myself out there to help people like yourself or even myself. A lot of people think that I'm an extrovert. I'm like, no, I'm an ambivert. So depending on what I got to do, depends on my mood. So, yeah. But let's move on to the topic of the day. The topic of the day, guys. How y'all been? Let me hear some stuff in the chat. How y'all been? For the topic of the day, we're going to talk about the danger of expectation, okay? The danger of expectation, but we're going to hear it a little bit from a wonderful, oh my gosh, what? Page not available. I just saw this video. This is crazy. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. Goodness, TikTok doing the most. All right, let's see. How do you unmute this thing? Hold on. All right, it looks like there we go. All right, let's try this again. Oh my gosh, it just want to go slow. Just goodness gracious. All right, hold on, let's do this. Gotta refresh. But how y'all been? How has the work week been? How has everything been going? I want to get some conversation going in the chat.
Every human being that you've ever met has been guessing. Your parents were guessing. Your teachers were guessing. The person who promised forever was guessing. The system that told you hard work pays off was guessing. Not maliciously, blindly, because nobody wakes up with the full manual for reality. Everyone is moving forward using partial memory, fear, hope, and whatever worked last time. And you were guessing too. And nobody tells you that while you were growing up. Instead, they hand you certainty disguised as wisdom. Be good. Be patient. Tell the truth. Love people correctly and everything will work out. And that's the bargain that they typically offer children. Not because adults are cruel, but because they needed to believe it themselves. Because if effort didn't matter, if love didn't stabilize anything, and if roles didn't mean something, then how were they supposed to survive their own lives? So you inherited maps drawn by people who were already lost, and you trusted them. Of course you did. Because children don't learn survival from chaos, they learn it from fairness. Fairness means that parents show up. Fairness means promises mean something. Fairness means the good kid eventually wins. And you didn't become obsessed with fairness because you were naive. You became obsessed with fairness because fairness meant the world could be navigated. It meant that you could relax. It meant that you could lean. So you learned
that part right there. He said fairness meant that you can navigate the world. I think a lot of times, for me, growing up with parents who tried to raise a respectful young man, who was intentional about making sure that I wasn't in certain environments, so I didn't get into the wrong crowds and etc. I thought that doing the right thing was what was going to get me to places, because it kind of did when I was with my parents, right? Adults loved me. Like, oh my gosh, he's so respectful, he's so good, he's so great. But I thought that was going to get me somewhere with my peers, and it didn't. It constantly got me teased, or being like, oh, he's the good kid, or Mr. Goody two, whatever, the pastor's kid, and etc. So then I'm now having to kind of find my sense of identity, or find a sense of myself outside of what my parents taught me, because now I'm realizing what they taught me was not the expectation of the world and people around me. And so I was realizing that I was not normal to the other kids. So you try to, or at least I tried to fit in, find myself going down rabbit holes that I was never supposed to go down. But a lot of times when parents are trying to do the best that they can, which is trying to shield their kids from certain things, and then what he's saying is trying to teach their kids to do the right thing and fairness, it gives the kid a false sense of navigation through life. You think that if I be kind towards others, people will be kind towards me. If I give towards others, people will give towards me. If I just be a good person, other people will be other people will be good, as well. The reality is, as I got older, no. So I thought it was just teenagers, right? Then I got older, I thought it was just young adults. And as I've gotten older, and I'm still a young adult, but you see grown adults, they don't follow by the same rules.
Expectation. And expectation is not entitlement, it's orientation. It's how you told yourself, I know where I'm standing. That's what expectation was about. And then life showed up and started correcting the map. Your parents I want you to understand something. I want you to understand how life shows up with this. Your parents can say they love you and still fail you completely. That can happen. Not because they hated you, but because they were exhausted, or they never learned how to regulate themselves, or sometimes love is honest and still not enough. And that realization, it does crack something open, because now the role doesn't protect you. Now the word love doesn't guarantee safety. You expected loyalty and somebody disappeared. You expected honesty and somebody gave you half-truths wrapped in kindness. You expected effort to matter and somebody louder walked through the same door you were already knocking on. You thought love was going to endure, and then one day them calls stopped coming, didn't they? They did. There was no dramatic betrayal. There was no explanation. It was just silence. Because love can be sincere and still show up dry. It can. People can mean every promise while they say it and still become someone who can't keep them. It's true. And that's...
That right there, that is something he said. Love. Hold on. Let me see if I can.
भगवान का स्टेटस डाल देता हूँ. अरे वाह, मेरा भक्त रोज व्हाट्सएप पे मेरे स्टेटस डालता है. इसे तो
expectation is the most controversial thought from someone who can't keep them. It's true. And that's the up dry. It can. People can mean every promise while they say it and still become someone who can't.
And still become someone who can't keep them. People can mean every promise that they say and still become someone who can't keep them. A lot of people, they mean well. I mean well. We all may mean well. This is one of the reasons why I don't like when people say good versus evil, right? And you see this in a lot of the religious spaces, more specifically in the Christian spaces. People will be like, oh yeah, that's evil. Just because the person didn't do something that you didn't like does not make them evil. We are complex, nuanced people. And this has been something that I've been learning over the past roughly 6 to 7 years, that the more I met new people, I thought that my issue was I wasn't meeting the right people. I wasn't meeting enough people. I wasn't meeting people at all. And so I thought that once I met people, once I were in certain circles, once I was a part of certain groups, that I will feel that connection, that wholeness, and more specifically, that I was able to hold an expectation, right, and that everyone else was. But the reality is, no matter how much everyone else wanted to hold those expectations, they couldn't. I can't. We are humans. And I realized that everyone did not have the same expectation of showing up on time, of being there when it's not convenient, of helping each other out, scratching each other's back, doing things to where the other person feels supported, right? I realized everyone did not have that thing. No matter how sincere they were, no matter how much they meant well, no matter how much of a good friend they were trying to be, they just could not be all that you was wanting them to be, because you had an expectation of them that they can't even live up to. They may even want to be there. They may even want to be on time. But they themselves have to do the work to be that version of themselves that you're hoping that they will be. And this is why understanding the gray area and the nuance of humanity is important. Because you may not be perfect. You may not show up all the time. You may not be the best of friend. You may not be the best person I can call in an emergency. But when you are there, you're good and you're trying and you're putting in effort. That is what matters.
Keep them. It's true. And that's the grief that nobody prepares you for. Not losing people, losing predictability. Losing predictability. Losing the story that told you who was safe. The apocalypse is not fire.
That. Losing predictability. That has been something that I've been working on. I've been deconstructing for the past several years, really. And really hard for the past few months. Is I don't feel safe when I'm not able to predict. I am what some people would call type A. Other people may call it controlling. But I realize I like to know what is going on. How is it going on? What are we doing? What are we not doing? Right? How much money will it take? What things do we need? One of my biggest pet peeves, right, is going somewhere and needing something that I have at the house. That is one of my biggest pet peeves, right? And so then what I start doing is certain things that I knew that I would need on a regular basis, I'll maybe buy 2 or 3 of them. So one of them can stay in my car, right? I want to get another set of earbuds, right? I'm not talking about the cheap ones. I'm talking about the expensive ones. I want to get another set of earbuds just to keep in my car, because it's annoying every time when I'm trying to use it for work, but then I also got to use it for the gym and I leave it somewhere. So I'm trying to control situations, right? Now you may say when it's with your stuff, that's fine. Do whichever you want to do. But here's where it becomes an issue when it's with people. You can't have an expectation with people. No matter how many people you are expecting to come to your birthday party, no matter how many people you are expecting to come to an event, to do this, do that, you cannot expect things from people. Number one is merely because they are human. Humans are very difficult to understand, let alone humans are very difficult for themselves to understand. A lot of times people don't know why they're always late. People don't know why they never are fully invested. They're never this, they're never that. And one of the biggest reasons is because we don't go to therapy enough. We don't do enough self-reflection. And a lot of times it's based upon how someone was raised, right? And this is his whole point. We all have different expectations. So I realized going into friendships, going into relationships, I would have expectations of people that is just non-existent because they weren't raised the same way.
It's waking up and realizing I don't know how this works anymore. And you're not just talking about a machine, you're talking about your life. And when that happens, you blamed yourself, right? Because if it's your fault, at least something can still change. That's why you replay every conversation. That's why you ask why you ignore that's why you ask if you ignored the warning signs. Why you wonder if you love too much. Because self-blame feels like control.
Yes, that part right there. He said self-blame feels like control. Oh my God. I got to clip this up. Self-blame feels like control. I would find myself DMing women, reaching out to clients or potential clients, trying to shoot my shot at a woman in person, trying to initiate a conversation for something that I need to be done. And I would be like, it didn't go well. What did I do wrong? Because it's easier for me to figure out what I did wrong than to try to put it on them because I cannot control them. I can only control me. So it would leave me confused on, I'm rereading the message over and over and over again. I'm like, what did I say wrong? I didn't say anything inappropriate. I'm replaying the thing that happened. I'm like, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong. And a lot of times it's not that you did something wrong. You just can't control somebody else. You can't control something else. Somebody or something. One of the things I've been struggling with this streaming podcast I'm doing is technology, right? Many of y'all don't even realize how much it takes to go into everything that I'm doing. The cameras, the lights, the audio, the software, the hardware. And what happens is I've recognized you can't depend on technology. You can't depend on things, right? Imagine every day you depend on your GPS to get home. Work, home, work, home, work, home. What happens when GPS goes out? Your phone goes out. What happens when something happens that you cannot use the GPS? So many of us were accustomed to using the GPS because it tells us where the cops are. It tells us when traffic is. It tells us what's going on. But what happens when you can't use the GPS? You don't feel in control anymore, right? You got to go old school. You got to be like looking at your car. Why is all this traffic? Is there an accident going on? You can't know. You got to go old school. You got to be intentional with slowing down because you don't know if a cop is there or not. You don't have control. And so I realized it was easier for me to control the situation when it was something I did, right? Shucks, I should have left earlier. What about when you did leave 30 minutes on time, but just an accident happened? That was out of your control, right? Shucks, I should have not said that in the message. No, you was being yourself. She just don't like you. You was being who you were. She don't like you. These are things that you cannot control. And I had to realize I cannot control these things.
You were wrong, next time you can fix it. But I want you to understand, expectation did not fail because you were foolish. That's not why expectation failed. Expectation failed because living systems cannot be frozen into guarantees. People change under pressure. Fear rewrites behavior. Capacity does run out. Somebody could love you deeply and still not have the strength to show up when it matters. Because living systems cannot be frozen into guarantees.
Living systems cannot be frozen in the guarantees. This guy be cooking. Ha ha. I guess I do. Be drinking out of my camera lens. So it's a cup. It's one of the worst gifts because you give this to a photographer or a videographer, they're gonna be so excited and then they open it and realize it's a mug. Oh, like I got a bunch of these, quite frankly. Anyway, living systems cannot be frozen in guarantees. Oh my gosh, that is so good. This man be cooking. Follow Joshua. This man be cooking. Living systems cannot be frozen in guarantees, meaning I cannot expect for my girlfriend to always have a good day. I cannot expect for my friends, for my people, for anybody to always have a good day. So then I find myself trying to curate and create these environments that everyone's going to have fun. I can't control you. I can't control that someone died in your family. I can't control that you're not feeling the best. I can't control a living system. And I know it feels like I'm preaching. I'm talking to myself. This has been something I've been trying to unpack in therapy, and in counseling, because I would be overthinking what can I do differently, and realizing all you can do, Shabach, is show up. All you can do is host the event. All you can do is bring the people in the room. You can't force people to talk to each other. You can't force people to have fun. You can't force people to want to be your friend. All you can do is just be you. And those who want to do will naturally gravitate towards it. Oh my gosh, this gotta be cooking.
People change under pressure. Fear rewrites behavior. Capacity does run out. Somebody could love you deeply and still not have the strength to show up when it matters. It can happen. That doesn't mean your judgment failed. It means that reality contains variables you were never allowed to see. So now something in you whispers every time that something goes on. Careful, don't trust that map again. Because last time you trusted that map, you felt like a liar to yourself. You said this made sense, and reality answered no. So I'm just going to tell you the truth, right? The real way to deal with this. You don't need expectation to hold you up. You were supposed to have a bad relationship with expectation. You need self-anchored openness, right? Not pretending people won't fail you. Not pretending systems are fair. Not doing any of that. But refusing to abandon yourself just to stay open. I'm going to show you.
Oh my God. This guy is cooked. Please go follow this guy, Joshua, Cypher.j. Oh my gosh, all his videos, he be cooking. I'm
exactly what it looks like. You love someone knowing they might change. Right. But you also know that you will leave if respect disappears. You forgive once, but you don't negotiate against your own boundaries to keep peace. Right. You
see that part right there. That is the part right there that I've been struggling with. You will shift your own boundaries just to keep peace. Oh my gosh. I realize families, friendships, even relationships where I'm shifting what I naturally like, what I naturally don't like, just to appease somebody else. And that is fine. That is technically fine. And that is what we are supposed to do to be able to communicate and live with each other. The issue is when we're doing it with things that is who we are. Basically, if you are changing the foundations and the fundamentals of who you are, there's a difference in between saying, all right, we can go to that restaurant tomorrow, we'll go to your restaurant today, versus someone says, I never want to go to an Asian restaurant ever in my entire life. So now you can only go to Asian restaurants by yourself. You can't really enjoy that with the person. Now, take that example on a bigger scale. Right? I don't want to have kids. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. That is who they are, and you are who you are. You can't change them, and you can't change yourself. But what you can change is yourself, right? But you can't. But you can. And that's where we wrestle. Most of the times we're trying to change something. What do we have? It's the serenity prayer. God grant me the ability to accept the things that I cannot change, but the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That last part is important because you need to know the difference between the things that you can change and can't change. Even if it is something that you have the ability to change, you shouldn't change it. You are who you are because God made you the way that you are. And I realized I was even expecting things from people that was not who they were. God didn't create them to be the extrovert. God didn't create them to be the introvert. God didn't create them to be the party person. God didn't create them to be the chill person. God created them for who and how they are. There are things that we should be shifting and changing as we're going through life, right? That's just called growing. That's just called doing your part as a human being, as a law-abiding citizen, or as a humanitarian. Things that you may shift a little bit to appease somebody else. But when you're doing it with the fundamentals, the foundation of who you are, you're only trying to change what you are in control of, which is something that you shouldn't be trying to change.
Apply again after the rejection because effort belonged to you and not the reply. I'm just trying to keep you centered. You call your parent again, not because they finally became who you needed, but because kindness is your decision and not a gamble for repair.
Oh.
You stay open. But you stop pretending openness requires blindness. You don't need certainty to care. You don't need guarantees to move forward because stability is no longer found in prediction. It lives in your follow through. And your follow through, your ability to respond, right? Your trust and your ability to respond, to lead.
Jesus Christ. So somebody had made a video and said, overthinking is you not trusting your future self. Overthinking is you not trusting your future self. Oh my God. That was such a message for me. Overthinking, and I'm gonna let this video play out because the segment's coming to an end. But overthinking is not trusting your future self. I realized I did not trust my future self. I didn't trust myself to respond to rejection. I didn't trust myself to respond in a situation that I didn't realize came up. What I realized, though, is that I am going through life. As I'm going through life, I'm constantly putting more tools in my bag. I'm constantly got more things I'm learning. So I can trust my future self because this has happened before. And I know how to do things differently. I know how to shift things. I know how to make things happen. But can you trust your future self? I'm going to let him cook for the rest of the time.
Rebuild and begin again. That's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. And it's terrifying because it means admitting something honest. Reality never promised you fairness. It never did. It never made you that deal. Yeah. You never had that conversation. So I want you to understand something. You have survived every broken map up until now. Every single one. Every collapsed story up until now. Every moment you thought would end you up until now. The apocalypse you felt was not the end of meaning. It was the end of illusion. And illusion dying does feel violent. It sure does. But what replaces illusion is sharper. You can hope without lying to yourself. You can lean without disappearing. You can love without surrendering your judgment. Because expectation was never meant to set your life in stone. It was only ever meant to get you moving. I'm just trying to tell you, right? And the reason why you're still willing to move is because the world didn't end. Right? You didn't either. And I want you to understand. It is impossible to go through your life without making an assumption. Walking across the street is an assumption. Mm-hmm. It is. You're trusting that the car will stay in the lane. But the assumption is only meant to get you moving. Mm-hmm. It's not meant to set your life down, right? It's not meant to firm in your life, to crystallize it. It's a hard thing to deal with. But that's all it's ever supposed to be about, right? The ignition. That's all expectation was supposed to be. But it is not the whole journey.
Man,
भगवान का status डाल देता
this guy, he be cooking. Because I realize I gotta shoot my shot at all the 10s. I have to shoot my shot at all the 10s. You want to know why? I don't know what that 10 like. She may like the tall, charming. Well, I'm charming. She may like the tall, chiseled chin, attractive man. I'm not him. But she may like me, though. But if you don't shoot your shot out of fear of rejection, you would never know. Oh, my God. So I realized I have to see every situation as an individual. It is a yes or a no. It is a yes or a maybe. It is a yes or it is an answer that now you know. You see that fine woman, you see that fine man, take your shot. Now you know. Now you don't have to live in regret. Is the worst that she can say is no? Yes. And can she do worse? Yes. But most people, men, women, they're cool. Let's watch something funny. I don't think I'm going to, because this thing be so irritating. Because I'm like, it's just going so slow every time I want to pull it up. So I normally do Instagram. But now I'm trying to do TikTok. And TikTok is just going so slow.
Man, it's called Alpine divorce. Or Alpine. What the fuck do you mean it's common for husbands to take their wife or girlfriend on a freaking hike and leave them there? What do you mean that's common? Every day there is a reason why I shouldn't be scared of men. It's called Alpine divorce or Alpine divorce, something like that. Point is, it's a name for it. This is a common thing. They have a whole woman support group and everything. What is this? What is going on?
Okay, I don't know what she's saying. Alpine, whatever. That ain't for us. Okay, that is.
What the fuck do you?
That is the palm hand people. Okay, that ain't us. I just thought that was funny when I saw it, because there's certain things that people be trying to blame on us, especially the whole gender war stuff. That ain't us men. That ain't us black men. That ain't this. That's that. Not this. Is that. Don't try to put that on us. When was the last time we went hiking as a black? When was the last time we went hiking? Not me. Well, yeah, no, not me. I did cross country. I consider that a fast hike, because you're going through trails. Like, you're going up and down and right, left, and trees and forests. It's crazy. If you want to hear some more cross-country stories, please let me know. I will do a whole series on all my cross-country events. Okay? It was crazy. And for those of y'all who don't know what cross-country is where you run 3.5 miles for every meet, right? So instead of like track, where you just run around and you may do a 4x4 or you maybe do a 1600 or whatever, you're running on a trail. in the sun, in the heat. My God, that was torture, but it created discipline. I don't regret it because it definitely created discipline, but my God, yeah. Let's move on. Let's go to commentary. So I saw this video, and it definitely resonated with me because I was like, a lot of us, we don't understand the nuance in what we're seeing in media, and we really don't understand what is going on. And so she did a good job of explaining.
Go ahead and follow this page because I'm about to break something down. Black fathers like Deion Sanders, LeVar Ball, and even LeBron James are often resented by sports organizations, sports media, and also people who give endorsement deals. And here's why. They hated Deion Sanders because he was so good and they couldn't do anything about it. Mm-hmm. For LeVar Ball.
So for those of y'all who don't know, Deion Sanders, when he was playing here in Atlanta, he was the first and only football player to play in a football game and a baseball game in the same day. Now, I think Michael Jordan ended up doing something similar, but I think Deion Sanders was the first one to do it. Or was he? It was something. You know what? I thought I knew something, and then I was like, oh, maybe not.
They hated his pride in his sons. They saw that as arrogance instead of seeing it as support. And now LeBron James, they hate him because they believe he paved a way for Bronny that Bronny didn't deserve. But let's get beyond the personality conflicts and talk about what's really at stake here and what's really going on. People don't like black fathers being involved because they know when a black father is involved, you can't take advantage of their son or their child like you could if the black father wasn't involved. Mm-hmm. You can't give them the slave deal. You can't misrepresent them. You can't steal from them.
See, that right there, that is something that we don't talk about. That's what I was saying. We don't talk about it enough when we see it, right? We put it on politics. We put it on a lot of other things, right? Oftentimes, companies and corporations, they are wanting to keep as much money as possible. They have to legally give people money. But they want to keep as much money as possible. Like, can't allow that to be the foundation. Corporations and companies want to keep as much money and make as much money as possible. But they have to give people money. They have to pay their employees. They have to pay the people that they're doing contracts with. They have to do that. So therefore, they're going to penny pinch in every single way. That is why you typically need an agent, right? That's why LeBron James has his agent. I forgot his name, the one who's with Adele, right? Because these people are in charge of being the middleman of like, no, my player, is this great? He deserves this much, right? So when we're talking about these different deals that are going on behind the scenes, we don't realize how much they are literally trying to find ways to cut money from you. Like, that is their job. They have a whole team of people who are trying to find ways to cut money to give to you. This is why, as someone in my field, right, I do digital media. So I do photography, videography, editing, engineering, I DJ. None of these jobs are secure. I love it and I love what I do, but I have to hustle because what happens is people are trying to figure out, well, how can we replace Shabach with AI? How can we replace this person with this other thing, right? Who is the better deal? So they may pull you in for a minute because they're like, oh yeah, we'll go ahead and use you just for a season. And so what happens behind the scenes is that they're trying to find ways to be like, hey, we heard how much you was making here. Hey, we did this, we did that. So then when it comes to black people, that's just a nuanced business thing. Then when it comes to black people, you add a whole nother layer on top of it because more than likely the ones who are in control are white people. And this is why DEI mattered, but also why we have to deconstruct, not take away DEI. We have to deconstruct DEI. DEI should not be a program that is able to be deleted, and once it's deleted, no one who is benefiting from DEI is able to get in. We have seen what that looks like. Organizations need to rewrite DEI. DEI needs to be built into your system. You know who did not who did not feel the effects of the whole Trump administration DEI stuff, people who automatically had it built into their system. I can't tell you to cancel your DEI program. I can't tell you that we're not going to fund you if it's already a part of what you do. This is why black people have to make black things for black people. Let me not get started.
Because their father has already been around that block twice. So now the real issue as to why you don't like black fathers being involved, because it takes away your power. And to that I say, for every black player who has ever been misrepresented and robbed, I love Bronny James in the NBA. I love it for him and I love it for us. For all the hate that Shedeur Sanders is getting because of his father and not because of anything that he has actually done. I love what he was able to do in playing the Raiders. You can't deny his talent.
Now that's why I'm pissed that we Atlanta Falcons Fofo Day's coming up. What y'all doing for Fofo Day? Quick question: what are y'all doing for Fofo Day? Fofo Day. That's you got to put the Atlanta accent on it. Can't be proper. It's Fofo. It's not 404. Okay, it's not gentrified. 404. No, it's Fofo, shawty. Fofo Day is coming up on April the 4th. So it's 404, right? April 4th. I want to know, should I create some events? Should I create an event for like authentic community, or should I create one? Let me see how to put this. Should I do an event where we're going to pop up somewhere, or should I do an event that is my own, like a game night, or I'm hosting it? What do y'all want? But anyway,
to the black fathers out there, I say, stay involved in your kids' lives, whether they play sports or if they don't, whether they're boys or they're girls, whether they...
She's pretty much giving her final words. So here's my thing. I was raised with a father in my life. Love my dad. I have benefited from a father being in my life and being active in my life. A lot of kids have not. So it's already hard enough. And I'm talking about black kids. A lot of black kids have not benefited from a father being in their life. I have. I have seen the benefits when I go around other black kids, whether it's my own family members or friends my age or kids younger. You realize that a lot of times a father presence is missing based upon how the child is behaving or how he is, she or he, because a father is able to provide a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a basically soldier. There's a word I'm looking for, but basically it's a father figure. That's the word that we use. It's like sternness. Moms, we love you and y'all do a great job, but there's nothing like when a father commands something, because then you realize, oh, it's time to get down to business. So when you have a father who has raised up his sons, raised up his daughters, right? Because someone mentioned in the comments, Serena Williams and Venus Williams' father, right? Same thing. When you have a father, an active black father who is raising their kids to be on the right path, people love it until you get leverage. People love that I was raised by my father and all these type of things until they saw the effects by it. Until I had a certain level of confidence because I had a father in my life. I had a certain level of wisdom. I had a certain level of knowledge because I had a father in my life. You're able to sometimes tell the difference, right? And so people like it when they're saying, oh, yeah, you don't act like all them hooligans. You don't act like everybody else. But they don't like it when you are not acting like everyone else and you have pride. You have standards, you have morality. People then tend to distance themselves from you because they realize they can't play you. So now they create narratives about Shedeur, why am I getting tongue twisted? The Ball brothers, you know what I'm trying to say. LaMelo Ball and everybody else. And LeBron James, right? They make narratives. They create these things. Oh, they're disrespectful. They're this. No, but when Tom Brady and other dude who plays on the Buccaneers, when they're arrogant and everything, we applaud it. So you realize a lot of these things is rooted in racism, and of course it will be. We are in America. America is literally built on racism. You know that. But what happens is these people who you think are your best friends, who you think they like you, you think that they want to see you win. Once they see that you can be in a position that may be better than them, they start having issues. They start getting that technicality. They start, well, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for DEI. Well, someone had to just go ahead and say, yes, that's the Charlie Kirk talk, right? Oh, I don't trust a pilot because they just let any old black man fly a plane. The black man had to go through all these tests, probably had to go through more tests just to make sure he was qualified, right? I'm tired of every time when I'm turning the corner, I think that we are doing good as a society. I think that we are knocking down these walls. We are rebranding, rebuilding, and deconstructing. That then you see more and more things. And a lot of times it's the passive aggressiveness. It's the invert racism, not the overt. Overt is, oh, look at that, right? Invert is, oh, you speak nice for a black person. I get that all the time. Do you know how many white people would tell me I speak proper, I speak well for a black person, right? And granted, it'll be sometimes the liberal ones who they don't say it just like that. They don't say it like the rednecks. They're saying, oh, wow, you speak so proper. Why are you surprised I speak proper, huh? Katie and Emily and Sarah and John, Jack, and everybody else, they speak. You don't say that they speak proper. Why do you think I wouldn't speak proper? So you realize a lot of times these things are rooted in racism. And I don't like to be that guy that always ties everything back to racism, always ties everything back to slavery. I didn't want to be that guy until I realized it is that way. You just don't want me to be that guy because I'm calling out your BS. And as the show goes on, I'm going to be talking about more topics like this, especially within the Christian community. Evangelical Christian community and oh my God. Listen, a lot of things are rooted in racism and we pass over it because it's not overt, but it's invert or whatever the opposite of overt is. But let's move on. Next, we got trending topics. So, as y'all know, and if you don't know, you know because you're gas, we are at war with Iran. And so, right now, the gas prices are, I think, 30% higher. It's ridiculous. I was able to fill up my whole tank with like $30, 3 weeks ago. Now I got to put 40 in that. Good Lord. So, I love this guy. He's called News Daddy. I think that's like his official name, but on here, the @ is Dylan Page.
Fast. What started as a conflict between 3 countries has now dragged a staggering 13 into the fallout, and today marked a major escalation because Iran struck UK military bases in Cyprus, meaning for the first time this war has now officially touched European territory. Now in response, the UK has authorized the United States to use its military bases to help destroy Iran's missile systems, and a member of the European Parliament for Cyprus is already calling for action.
Cyprus is an EU territory, and one attack on a member state should be considered as an attack to the entire European Union. We want and we expect a united response from the entire European Union.
And that wasn't the only development today. Lebanon has now been dragged into this conflict as well after Hezbollah launched strikes on Israel in solidarity with Iran. Meanwhile, Qatar and Saudi Arabia were pulled in a pretty major way after a number of their energy facilities were hit. Qatar, which supplies around 20% of the world's liquefied natural gas, they were forced to suspend their operations. And the same goes for Saudi. Their largest oil refinery had to temporarily halt production after a large fire broke out. And then there's NATO. We got their comments for the first time after their Secretary General called Iran a threat to Europe, Israel, and the wider region, saying Europe is really stepping up after this weekend's operations. But when asked if NATO forces would get involved in this situation, he made it pretty clear. He said this is being led by the United States and Israel. So for now, NATO is staying out of it. But of course, as the situation develops, I'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah. So I wanted y'all to see the details. Everyone have different ways that they watch the news and that they stay up to date. And so just for those of y'all who may not watch the news or watch certain pages, just so we can, stay up to date. Here's my thing with this war that irritated me so much. We didn't need to. It's simple. We did not need to go to war. Why did we go to war, right? Oh, because we're trying to liberate, because there's a dictator who is oppressing all these people. No. Do you know who's saying that? Who is saying that? Trump, right? So for anybody who believes that, for anybody who is, stop it, right? Now, here's the thing about politics, right? Politics is always a winning game. It is always about who and how can I benefit from this. People will align themselves with people and situations and things that they do not agree with, as long as they're going to win in the end, as long as there's something in it for them, right? So a lot of people who are celebrating this dictator who has been either killed or captured, right? A lot of people who are like, oh yeah, somebody else is going to, it's like, yeah, our U.S. administration don't care nothing about that. They care about the oil. They care about whatever they can profit from it. They care about that strip of Gaza, right? They don't care about liberation, right? Politicians rarely are able to, let alone someone like Trump, right? But even politicians who have a good heart, they have a good heart, but they don't have the good money, right? They need money to campaign. They need money to get votes. They need money to be able to promote themselves and all these different things. So what happens is you have to shake hands and do deals with people who you don't agree with, right? And this is one of my issues with some Christian influencers and people, right? I'm like, I stopped following that guy because of some of his political views that does not align with love. You're still partnering with that guy and still connecting with that guy. Why? Right? And so that's when I realized the higher up you see people go, they had to say a yes to something that you would have said a no. They had to say a yes to something that they themselves would have said a no to a few years ago. Because when you have all of this on the line, it's desperate times. That's why we can't trust politicians. We love to say politicians are liars and all this type of stuff. Politicians are desperate. Has anyone else had that take? Politicians are desperate. They are desperate for your vote. They are desperate for money. They're just like us. But they realize, oh, they have a gift of gab. They have a gift of knowing political science. They have a gift of knowing certain things. So therefore, I can be a politician and it can make me money. I don't know. I'm not about to front act like, oh, I know constitutional theory like that and that I know exactly what the founding fathers were trying to do versus how it is now. What I do know is a lot of the things that we stood on as Americans 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we don't stand on as now. And so I as I've gotten older, I've lost hope in the system, quite frankly. Because why are we going to war just because Trump wants his ratings to go up? Why are we going to, that's probably all he heard. And you think that I'm joking. I'm not. He probably heard that, oh, it could be beneficial for all these other things. But the main thing that he heard was, it can make my ratings go up, right? Are there going to be people who would like Trump just because he did what he did? Sure. But that does not make up the majority of Middle Easterns and does not make up the majority of Americans. Especially when it's affecting my daily living. So here's my issue, right? For those of y'all who are in support of this war, you see that the gas prices are going up. If you don't have an issue with it now, why did you have an issue with it back then when Biden administration was trying to help Ukraine? When the Biden administration was doing the whole trying to the peace thing with Israel and everything, and we were sending money to them and it was making our prices go up. You had a problem then, but why don't you have a problem now? Right? And this is one of the reasons why I'm tired. Do you share the same sentiment I have? I am tired of people. I am tired of putting my faith in systems and in people because it's just like what we start with. I'm tired of having expectations that Obama is going to be the change, even though I want to be clear. Obama did create change. He just did not create the change that we all was dreaming of, because one man cannot do that. especially in our government. But we put so much faith and hope in our pastors, in our politicians, in our social activists. We even put so much power in someone like myself who's doing events instead, like, oh, Shabach is supposed to be the one that's going to make the fun, when you yourself have the ability to make and create the fun. You have the ability to make the things that you want to happen in life. You don't need the politician. You don't need the preacher. You need faith in yourself. Now, should you have faith in God? Absolutely. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you should not have faith in something of a higher power. But when it comes to people, you can only have faith in what you know with people, right? And this is why sometimes with Christian standpoints and perspectives, I get irritated, right? Is because, like one of the prayers as we pray as Christians is, God, touch their heart to do X, Y, and Z. But at the same time, if they don't want their hearts to be touched, oh well. Right? But my point here, I am tired of putting faith in politicians to do the right thing. All right, fine. I didn't vote for Trump. I don't know who you voted. I didn't vote for Trump. I don't know I didn't vote for. Okay? So you vote for Trump, but he ain't doing what you thought he was going to do. Oh, he's going to make egg prices go down. Okay. All right. And this is why I say certain things have to happen, right? I'm not a political commentator. I'm not a political commentator. There we go. But certain things have to happen for people to realize and wake up. You can't make America great again because America was never great for anybody. I don't care what your ethnicity is, what your race is. I don't care how pale you are. No offense. All right. I love my white brothers and sisters who love us back. How about that? But I don't care what skin tone you are. America was never great for anybody. If you are trying to live in America in 2026, it was never great. We are making it better, but when you keep trying to take it backwards, you are taking it back to when it wasn't great. You can't just say, oh my gosh. It's kind of like how women do. I love a traditional man. Traditionally, back in the day, men hit women. Traditionally, back in the day, women had no rights. You don't want a traditional man. You want a man who just respects you, all right? Who loves you, who honors you. But it's the same with politics. I'm tired of us continuously to put our hope in politicians, in these people who don't care about us. They only care about their own pockets. Are there certain politicians who do care? Yes. But I'm telling you, in order for them to go up to certain places, they have to shake hands and kiss babies. Do I feel like Kamala was going to be answered? No. But I feel like it was going to be more respectful. I feel like there are certain things that she just was not going to do. Right? Do I feel like you have to be forced to vote for somebody? No. What, should you vote in general? Yes. Voting, when you don't vote, when you opt out of voting, I wish people, some of y'all are just stupid. Some of y'all don't get it. Some of y'all are very stupid and ignorant, and I want to help you. That's why I do stuff like this. When you don't vote, it's the equivalent of saying, hey, we're going to go eat regardless, but you can either go to Burger King or Taco Bell. I don't want either, so I'm not going to vote. Well, hey, there are 5 other people who are going to vote. I would suggest for you to pick the one that you prefer the most, right? Choose what they say, the lesser of 2 evils, instead of not voting, because it's going to happen regardless. Why? Like, I'm tired. Ooh, that's a pet peeve of mine. I'm tired of y'all ignorant folks acting like not voting means that, oh, I'm not a part of it. I'm not a part of it. You don't have to vote if you live in another country. But dude, you live in this country. Nicolette? Goodness gracious. Let's move on. Man, look, I'm sorry. That just irritated me. But let's take it a little softer, a little lighter. Ba-da. Do-do-do-do-do. All right.
Making themselves the most invisible human beings of all time. One of the reasons I was able, a lot of people in their 20s and 30s want to live a life that requires maximum visibility while simultaneously making themselves the most invisible human beings of all time. One of the reasons I was able to get this custom bottle from Lobos, Kevin P. White limited edition at NEPO, is because I'm super visible to the human eye. I was on the news last August and my cousin called me, congratulated me, and then he stopped. He said, I see you fucking everywhere. Whether it's a whole bunch of positive shit, somebody randomly speaking on you in some comment sections, on Instagram, on TikTok, on TV, you're everywhere. Every successful person you know is visible. You can find them. You can become invisible after you're successful, but you can't be successful by hiding. I say this one all the time. Unpopular opinion, dating doesn't suck. You're just not visible to the people that you actually wanted to date. And you only tried twice in 2025. You talked to 2 people and they both didn't work out. That doesn't mean dating sucks. You're just invisible. Let's say you don't believe in dating apps, which is fine. And let's say you also don't believe in going out on the weekends. And let's say you also don't believe in going to any event. And let's say also you don't believe. How are you ever gonna find your person if you sit in your apartment every weekend, every single day? The first month on my main TikTok account, I posted 73 videos because
There's this girl that I'm talking to, and she was like, every Friday is her own date night. I was like, I wish I had the personality to do that. And she want to call herself shy. I'm like, Shawty, you are not shy. What? No. You are willing to go to places by yourself just to treat yourself, and maybe if someone talk to you, maybe if you meet a friend. What? I at least need somebody to go with me. That's part of the reason why I be doing the community events, is because I want to go to these places. I just don't want to go by myself, right? And those of y'all who be in the comments talking about, oh, I need someone to go with me. That's the whole point, girl. Brody, the point is you don't need someone to go with because you're going to meet friends there. This ain't no regular event, okay, where everyone gonna be in their own bubble. No, I'm making people socialize with each other, okay?
I understood that visibility meant more than quality at that time. I needed to get out there. I needed to see what's working, what's not, what I like, what the other people don't like. I needed to get all of this data, visibility. Social media, I post every single day, whether it's a TikTok on this backup account, Kevin Brown, my main, Kevin White, Instagram Reels. I post Instagram stories every single day, threads, you name it, you're going to fucking see me. I have had people and heard through the rumblings like, I'm sick of seeing Kevin White everywhere. I would be sick as well, because I'm going to continue to be seen. I'm not going into hiding. I understand more opportunities are going to come my way if I am visible. Again, every successful person is going to tell you, get in that fucking field. The life that you dream of, that you aspire to get, and all of these things are not going to happen if you are invisible. Dating, entrepreneurship, the next job, friendships, it doesn't matter which one you pick. You have to be visible.
Yeah. So a lot of people, I realize that I have to be more visible. And you should too. You should be more visible. And visible should not necessarily mean content creation, because everyone is not called to be a content creator. Visible does not necessarily mean doing events, because everyone's not called to do events. Visible means, let's sit down, write out a plan. What are you trying to do? So if you're trying to meet people, meet men, meet women, whatever, you need to figure out how can you do that, right? For me, I am slowly getting back visible. Right? Slowly getting back into the church, slowly getting back into community, slowly getting back into dating, slowly getting back into certain things that is going to put me in proximity of the people or the things that I want, right? But you got to be visible. You got to go out, right? If you're in Atlanta, go to the Beltline, just walk on the belt, just walk. But then here's the thing. All right, here's a tip. Go on the Beltline and walk without headphones. By yourself and walk without headphones. Here's why. You're going to end up walking next to a guy, next to a girl, some point in time. You're going to pass by, walk, but when you don't have your earbuds in, you look approachable, and it makes you more confident to go ahead and approach. Because when you have on your earbuds, you are intentionally zoning out. But when you take them out, you have to hear, you have to listen, you're observing, you're seeing. You are able to really see that attractive dude. You're able to really see that attractive girl, and instead of just being closed off. Do things to put yourself out there. If you're an introvert, just go to the coffee shop. You don't have to go to the club. You don't have to go to the mixer. Just go to the coffee shop. Just do those things that are going to create some sense of putting yourself out there and making yourself visible. That's all I'll be trying to tell folks, and that's what I'll be trying to do with these events. All these events are so for you to create some visibility amongst some friends and some people and actually create community. So that's the inspiration. I love y'all. Make sure that y'all subscribe, follow, like, do all the things, okay? A brother needs support, all right? Because I am trying to make myself visible, all right? I am trying to make sure that I am seen. So I need y'all to help me make sure that I'm seen. Until next episode, which is going to be on Wednesday at 4 p.m. on next Wednesday. All right, I'll be posting clips and everything, but subscribe on YouTube. That's where you can see the
Shabach.